What up, everybody? And watching Raising Kanan, we all know that both Jukebox and Kanan are gonna make it out of the series. So we're watching, learning about their lives and what led up to the time when we met them in power as adults. But the question that everybody has in the back of their mind while watching Raising Kanan is, does Kanan's mom, the queen pin of the South Side, Raquel Thomas, make it out of Raising Kanan alive? There are two viral clips that are going around from the original Power series that might or might not mention Rock, but they do not leave a clear indication. The first clip is when Kanan first gets out of prison and he goes to see Tommy and Ghost in Ghost's penthouse and Tasha for the first time since being out. He'd already been out for a little while, but he didn't want Ghost and Tommy knowing about it. It was him and Sean's secret, but Sean finally took them to see Ghost, and when he sees Tommy, he tells Tommy he's just got out the day before. He went to see his mom and came straight there. The second clip is the clip from Tariq watching the news after he sets up Kanan to die. And the news reporter says that Kanan has no known surviving next to kin. So these kind of these two clips send us in two different directions concerning, does Rock make it out of Raising Kanan? We want to look at the first clip, and we already know he was lying. So if Ghost and Tommy don't know anything about Rock, he could have just made that lie up and she could have already been dead. Or he could have been talking about he went to go see the tombstone or whatever. As far as the second clip, it could be a possibility that the police department didn't identify Rock as that she is still alive, and the police department didn't identify her as his mother because they have two different last names. But they did say he has no known surviving next to kin, or maybe she just hasn't came forward or anything because of her past. She might just be laying low, but she still is actually alive. But let's just take this at face value and ask the question, does Rock actually die in the original Power timeline? So that would mean she died somewhere between the time Kanan first got out of prison and the time when Kanan got killed. So we know that before I get into that, because they wouldn't say this either, though, to consider this, though Kanan was a main character, the story did not include a lot of his personal life, other than one scene where after he'd been out for a little while, Sean takes him to go see his mother, Kanan's baby mother, Jarita, and he gets a big bag of money from her as well when he goes to see her. But other than that, they don't really show much about Kanan's personal life. We don't really get to know him intimately like that. They only show him like we would do, like we saw Tasha, Ghost, Angela, and other characters. We really only got to see Kanan really doing street type stuff. So we didn't really get to know much about his personal life. So currently in Raising Kanan, Rock is 33 years old. We know that because she was 16 when she got pregnant with Kanan. You add 9 months to that, that would be 17. And in the year 1992, Kanan is currently 16 years old, and probably in either his sophomore or junior year of high school. Either way, he's 16 years old, 1992. So that gets me to the Power series. The full duration of Power is 7 years long. And that is, we do know this for a fact because in season 1, Tasha went to go open after she found out Ghost had took some money out of their legit account for the club without her knowing about it. She went to the vault by herself or something to go get some money out. I don't remember the exact reason, but if you notice, it did say the actual date, and the date was 2013. And we know it was a 7-year series because in the very final episode of Power, when Tasha goes to jail and Tariq goes off to college, when he goes into his dorm room and shuts the door, we do see the dorm say Tariq St. Patrick, class of 2024. So we know that was starting out in 2020. The duration was 7 years. We also know that Tariq went there a year early, that he was supposed to be actually a senior in high school, but Tasha was able to get Simon Sturm to get him into Stansfield. We do know this as well because he did not graduate high school because Tasha told him that before he gets in, he had to take his GED. And we know that Tariq was in some big time schools and in high level classes, and he's really smart, so taking a GED was nothing for Tariq. So, and we do also know that when Power season 1 first started, just to make this even more clear, how the duration of the series, because I know people have said that it's only like 1 year duration, which just couldn't be, because in Power season 1 we have Tariq is in the 5th grade. We know this because Raina is singing at her school play, and she is a 5th grader because the 5th grader don't ever get the lead except the previous year when that other girl who was currently the 6th grader, who she had to split the role with, got it the previous year. So we do know that, and Raina also tells her grandmother that she's only a 5th grader. One of the first couple episodes of Power. And we do know that Kanan dies in 2018, around the time of Tariq's 16th birthday or sophomore year of high school. We do know this as well because they showed this day because Ghost went with Angela to look for some shoes for Tariq, and Tasha went to pick up the cake and got Tariq the wrong cake. She actually got him Raina's cake. So that gets me to Rock in the Power timeline. So if she's 33 in 1992, fast forwarding to the time Kanan got out of jail, which would be around 2013, she would be 54 years old. And the time Kanan died, around Tariq's 16th birthday, she would have been, if living, around 58 when Kanan died. So I asked the question, is it possible Rock was alive when Kanan got out of jail and she died before Kanan got killed, since Kanan's personal life was not revealed much in Power? Because if you just take it at face value from the 2 clips we do possibly hear about Kanan's family, when he did say to Ghost and Tommy, it didn't sound like he was visiting a tombstone. And then the police department say he also has no next of kin. So it is a possibility during that 4 years that Rock possibly died during that time. And then there's another question: did Kanan kill Rock once he got out of prison? That might be another question to ask. We don't know all Kanan was doing during that duration of time. We only see him in spurts. He would disappear, and then he would come back on the scene. So there's a lot of time we're not seeing Kanan, so we don't know what exactly he was doing in all the time he was off camera for the duration of his time being alive out of jail in the Power series. And there's one more thing I want to address here is someone brought this up in my comments a few months ago, and I thought this would be a good time to actually talk about it briefly. It is, was the house Jukebox took Tariq to in Power the same house that Rock bought in Raising Kanan? Because it would make sense that that is actually the same house, because it looks a lot alike. I haven't went to really try to analyze the pictures or anything of the house, but it would make it does look similar, and it does make a lot of sense that they had that house, especially if Rock is no longer living, that maybe that was Jukebox and Kanan's inheritance, either though Kanan didn't care much for the house to begin with in Raising Kanan. That might be why you see Jukebox actually the one who is in control of the house, because she took Tariq there, and of course Kanan knew where the address was once Jukebox told Kanan where she was holding Tariq. So there you have it. A question that might be is, did Rock die during the timeline of the original Power series? Because there are two clips from the Power series that somewhat talk about Kanan's family, but they are conflicting stories. So the fact that she possibly died during that 4-year time is a real possibility. Leave your thoughts in the comments.